To be honest, boxing's never seen nothing like this in the history of boxing. Since it began 250 years ago, it's never seen anything like this. I believe this is going to be great for boxing. I believe we're going to win.
He's going to have, after the fight is over, then so be it. I'm already in a no-win situation anyway. To me, it's a win-win. But I'm in a no-win because if I knock him out fast in the first round, they're going to be like, oh man, this wasn't worth it. If I let it go a few rounds and drag it out, they're going to be like, oh man.
I've always been in the gym training. I'm boxing professional fighters. Activity is great. I had 15 fights in 1 year when I was younger, and I think activity is great, but I'm prepared. I'm just ready to go.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson come together in a tense face-off, trading sharp words as the atmosphere grows more charged between the two boxing icons.
Didn't even bring that shit up no more.
No, they should bring it up.
Okay.
They should see the difference from there to now.
Gotcha.
Me at my worst, to me at the biggest event in the history of events right now. There's never been any bigger than this. So what they have to say about that?
What does that say about you if you lose?
Well, I'm not gonna lose. So I can't even fathom losing. I can't even imagine it. I think he thinks this is gonna be a very easy night. It's not gonna be an easy night.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. stays calm and confident during their intense face-to-face, fully himself and ready to show he still has the skill and fire that made him a legend.
Keep it on cruise control, go out there, have some fun, and do what I do best. And that's be Floyd Mayweather.
Mike Tyson declares he's ready for the challenge, training harder than ever and looking sharp, fully confident he can step up and meet the moment.
The fighter's waiting for his money. By the time he gets his money, everybody else took their percentage out already. So you don't know who's who. You get what they give you.
You look good. How you feeling physically?
Incredible.
You've been training?
Listen, I was wearing an extra large. It looks like I'm wearing large.
Rafael Corderero, Mike Tyson's trainer, says Tyson is now in better shape and sharper than he was in his fight against Roy Jones.
Perfect time, perfect place now. Where's Mike? Put everything together. So mentally, physically, we're excited. If the fight was next Saturday, you will be ready for it. We talk about Roy was 4 years ago. Today, Mike is much better than he was when he fought.
Mike Tyson is at peak sharpness in training camp, sparring at full intensity, testing his limits, and preparing rigorously for the upcoming challenge.
Okay, I'll be right.
Round one. Boom. Phew. Cut the ring. Exactly. Cut the ring. Exactly.
Jeff Mayweather says Floyd Mayweather Jr. has always been at ease playing the villain, and a fight with Mike Tyson could test his legacy while highlighting his confidence and skill.
Why? It's easy, because Floyd always was the bad guy. Once again, he's gonna be the bad guy. And I think that if there's any way to try to remove his O, it may happen.
Meanwhile, Tony Jeff recently said Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s return is fueled by ego, as he struggles to accept being overshadowed, especially after Tyson's fight against Jake Paul.
We've got to make as much money as we can while we can, and then get out of the sport. But with these two, they're multi-millionaires. And I want to get into the tail of the tape and talk about exactly the records and all of that stuff with it. But first, I just want to say, I believe that these are doing this for different things. Mike Tyson is doing it purely for the money. Purely for the money. Floyd is doing it for the money as well, but also, I believe Floyd's doing it for that limelight. They've seen the numbers that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul got, and I think this is the most viewed fight of all time, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. I might be wrong in saying that, but I'm sure it was. was hosted on Netflix. And Floyd's been one in the past with his ego that he wants to just, be in that limelight all the time. And when you're not in the limelight all the time, you want to have...
Floyd Mayweather Jr. trains hard in camp, moving with impressive speed and agility, looking remarkably youthful while showing the precision and quickness that made him a champion.
Hook right here. Right here, hook. Hook here. Hook right here. Slide and drop. Punch it, point it, help him up. Drop, drop. Walking, walking, walking. Pitch it. Pitch it. Six. Six. Pitch it. Pitch it. Watch it, watch it. I step back like I have my distance. That's why I step back. See, I have my distance. Fighters don't know their distance.
Analyst Henry raises serious doubts about the direction boxing is heading with legends coming back for exhibition fights. He notes that Manny Pacquiao is scheduled to face Rosalind Koff, while Floyd Mayweather Jr. is connected with Mike Tyson. To Henry, these matches seem motivated more by money than by sport, creating a strange and uneasy situation, especially with older fighters returning for another run. The focus on Tyson is even stronger after his recent high-profile comeback against Jake Paul, which already stirred plenty of debate. At the same time, Henry acknowledges that the event will be huge, especially with a platform like Netflix backing it. Despite the criticism, there is a lot of curiosity. He sees the real story as the question of decline, wondering who has lost more sharpness. Mayweather has been out of the ring for years, while Pacquiao has faced far more fights. That uncertainty adds intrigue, even for purists who aren't fans of the idea.
Mayweather's taking on Mike Tyson of all people. that's the most money motivated thing I've ever heard. It's utterly bizarre. And I don't want to see Mike Tyson anywhere near the ring again, especially after that Jake Paul fiasco. This whole thing's incredibly weird. I don't like it. I'm a proper boxing fan, and these fights to me, this OAP stuff they've got going on when they bring back these old fighters for one more go at each other, it's just not something that I particularly enjoy. Now look, it's going to be on Netflix. It's probably going to be a massive event. I'm probably going to end up covering it because they are two former champions of note and it is going to go on their professional records. But if you thought the first fight wasn't particularly entertaining, I can't imagine this one's going to be much better. The one thing I will say is that I believe Pacquiao's in better condition than I realized after the effort he put in against Mario Barrios.
The Dollar questions the reported fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson in Congo, wondering if it's really happening or quietly losing momentum. He finds the early announcement puzzling, with a September fight revealed in February, far longer than the usual 3 or 4 month promotion cycle. That extended timeline hints at either a major global build-up or behind-the-scenes uncertainty. He also looks at Netflix and its approach of creating spectacle-driven matchups.
Mayweather's not had a proper fight in such a long time, which you could argue means he won't be as sharp in the ring. But then on the other hand, Pacquiao's had way more fights than Mayweather has, so you could argue he's got less left in the tank. It's difficult to figure out what it means for either guy, and we don't really know which way it's going to go. But I guess, if I'm being really honest, as much as I don't love it, there's always going to be a little bit of intrigue there. Kind of don't like myself for it, but I'm just being honest with you guys. And I think if we want to have a real conversation about what this fight represents is a continued frustration around the truth about the first fight, which was that it came too late and it turned into more and more of a cash grab. This fight embodies that to a whole new level. Even for the broadcast and Netflix, I don't believe they're truly invested in the sport of boxing. They'll take one-off big events that get them more subscribers, that increase their revenue, that increase their subscription base, but they don't really care about the sport. If they did, they'd be putting on a lot more events than just these mega fights that involve, influencers and fighters that are well past them.
From crossover fights to the huge audiences drawn by Jake Paul events, the platform is clearly aiming for mass appeal. Aid admits the formula probably works, even if it seems unpredictable. Despite his doubts, he is a genuine fan of Floyd Mayweather Jr., tracing his love for boxing from Mike Tyson's dominance to British stars and back to America because of Floyd's skill. He sees Mayweather as a rare figure who combined marketing savvy with ring intelligence, similar to how Conor McGregor mastered both in his own arena.
There was also talk about Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson in the Congo. Is that now scrapped? Why are they announcing this several months before the event? I mean, is it a massive build-up? I mean, when you think about it, most fights are announced 3 months, 4 before an event. This one, September. We are in February, people. Like, what is going on? I mean, what are Netflix doing? Netflix are kind of, obviously, they're picking up and putting on really random stuff. Like Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. If you are an MMA fan, that fight was supposed to happen way more than a decade ago. Way more than a decade ago. They're doing it now. Will it get big numbers? I guess it kind of will. They've obviously done the Jake Paul stuff. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Jake Paul versus AJ. They done massive numbers. Crawford Canelo, a serious fight, and then they're doing this.
Wade Plemon gives his candid opinion on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s return to the ring, pointing out the tension between legacy and money. He explains that watching a boxer of Floyd's stature fight again at this stage can feel disappointing to fans, suggesting the move is motivated more by profit than love for the sport. For longtime followers, there's an uneasy feeling that a legendary career might be overshadowed by financial goals rather than true athletic achievement.
Massive, massive Floyd fan. Like, my journey into boxing, obviously when I was young, it was very much Mike Tyson, but then it went and became a UK thing. The ITV days of, I don't know, Ben Eubank, etc., Michael Watson, and then eventually Joe Calzaghe, Prince Nassim, etc., etc. My reason for going back and watching American boxing is solely down to Floyd. But I was obsessed with everything Floyd Mayweather did. I thought he was a genius when it comes to marketing and a genius in the ring. Like, it's very rare that the two go together, which is why I think everyone kind of fell in love with Conor McGregor, right? Because Conor McGregor was a genius outside the ring in terms of how to sell a fight. And in the octagon, he actually proved that he can fight as well. Floyd, obviously on a completely different level, but you know what I mean? Very similar. Someone that talks the talk and walks the walk. And Floyd most certainly did it.
Despite media rumors about Floyd's finances, Plemons firmly denies any claims of money troubles, stressing that the fighter is not struggling to pay his bills. He points out that headlines about massive debt are misleading and exaggerated. Still, he openly acknowledges that the event is highly profitable and that financial gain is a major reason it's happening. While some might see this as purely commercial, Plemons views it as a smart decision that balances Floyd's competitive drive with the opportunity at hand. To him, it's both a show for fans and a display of Mayweather's careful management of his career and brand.
Mayweather had financial troubles because of the money he owed to the IRS, because of the terrible business and real estate investments that he's made, and apparently some of these have gone under, and he is owed back rent, or he is owing back rent, and he is delinquent on a lot of payments for a lot of different things right now. These things seem to have added up for Floyd, and now it's pretty apparent that not only is he doing these, bank robbery style exhibitions, but it looks like he absolutely needs to do it, which is very, very sad. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Floyd Mayweather as an individual outside of the ring, but I never want to see athletes have their money mismanaged or mismanage their own money so badly that they go broke in retirement, and it looks like that's kind of what's happening. And here's a snippet from Business Insider because it made me want to pay for the entire article.
Ariel Helwani offered a candid view on the upcoming clash between two boxing legends, raising points that have stirred debate among fans. He questions whether the fight is truly necessary, pointing out the risks of bringing fighters back at an advanced stage in their careers. To Helwani, the matchup feels more like a spectacle than a genuine sporting contest, as both athletes are past their physical peak. He warns that the dangers may outweigh the entertainment or financial rewards, stressing that the fighter's health should come first. His perspective reflects a wider discussion in boxing about former champions returning, especially when events seem driven by publicity or profit rather than competition. While fans may be excited to see familiar names back in the ring, Helwani urges caution, noting that age inevitably impacts speed, reflexes, and stamina. In his view, the fight might be unnecessary and could even risk tarnishing the legacies of both fighters instead of honoring them.
Attorney strongly denies he's any kind of financial distress, but the headlines aren't slowing down. $54 million alleged dollars in debt. So it makes sense why they would want to do this, and it's strictly for money, let's be honest. This is a clear money grab, but this is going to be a terrible fight. This is not going to be a fight that anyone outside of watching Mike Tyson walk to the ring and the idea that maybe he'll knock out the little guy and Floyd that Tyson for a long time didn't like. You know, for a long time called Floyd a small little angry man or a small little scared man because he couldn't walk his kids to school by himself, mainly because Floyd had, yeah, he kind of disrespected Muhammad Ali, who was Mike Tyson's favorite fighter and one that he would never put himself above. But Mike's 60 years old. And if there was a time for Mike to get him and knock him out or whatever, it never would have happened because they were in completely different weight classes and XYZ. If you wanted to settle it outside of boxing, that's one thing, but now they're stepping into this exhibition. There's not going to be any weight classes, obviously.
Johnny Nelson recently shared his take on the much-anticipated meeting between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr., highlighting details many fans might miss. He noted that despite their age, Mayweather still shows impressive speed, power, and precision, moving with a sharpness that can surprise even experienced observers. In training, he displays a youthful technique, hitting the bags with intensity and focus built from years of disciplined preparation. Nelson also emphasized the human side of boxing legends, pointing out that returns to the ring are influenced by more than pride or competition. Financial needs, family, and the desire to stay relevant all play a role. While some fans worry about legacy, Nelson reminds viewers that these fighters remain highly skilled athletes, combining experience, natural talent, and careful preparation.
Today's economic times, there's economic challenges. These corporations and companies, they're looking to make profit. And if they put out a pay-per-view, and a lot of people, another thing is the fighters. I'm blaming the fighters too, because there's a lot of guys, they're not bigger than the fighters of yesteryear. That's why you can have a Floyd Mayweather and a Mike Tyson whose brands are so big. This is going to be a big fight. It's going to be, just because it's a freak show, circus fight, whatever you want to say. Some people are going to be mad at it. I don't want to see it, blah, blah, blah. But the curiosity is always going to get the best of the masses, especially if they put this on Netflix or Amazon or whoever, right? And that's the reality. A lot of these new fighters, Gen Z fighters, people under 30, they're not marketing themselves.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.